Every TV for the second race of the week and the final one at that. We're at the round 8 tie here in Monza for the Italian Grand Prix, and as you can see, the heavens are already open, as we actually knew before the event started. There's 11 corners around this circuit, 2 DRS zones. It's 5.793 kilometers and a 3.599 miles in length. It's been around since 1950. We're going to be running the C4 the soft, C3 the mediums, and C2 the hard tyres. As you can see, we've only got 14 drivers this evening. It's compact, but one thing that we can still keep a very close eye on and will be very interesting from tonight and the next couple of races after this one is the championship fight, because it's got so close now. Chuckle is on 137 points and takes the lead of the championship after last week's race at Austria. Pippo Kennedy is second, 1 point behind him on 136 points. 11 points back from him is Super Striker on 125 points, 118 points for Queeks Gamer in fourth, and 109 points for Chuck in fifth. Alfa Romeo is on 209 points. McLaren's are on 149 and 147 points for Mercedes in third in the constructors. So yeah, the heavens are opened here in Monza, and a driver is already off the track there, and that was Perm Bowden. Of course, as always, I'm here with Lee, and we should really talk about this. Obviously, we've got a Q1 session. Everyone's going to do one lap and then retire. I'm going to get straight on to Q2 where everyone will get knocked out. In Monza, Lee, quite fitting for the news that we've had today on, as everyone, well, not everyone, I didn't know necessarily, but football's transfer deadline day, with arguably the biggest transfer of the day not being in football.
Yeah, I would certainly say it did definitely come out of nowhere seeing that news, and yeah, waking up to that I was quite surprised to see, but now, well, Hamilton in red.
Yeah, I was never a Ferrari fan before, but I've now suddenly decided that I am one.
It's one thing I certainly didn't see coming. I mean, like you said there, just recently about the release clause, what was that?
So he had a 2-year deal, and he's triggered the 1-year release clause. So he has to stay with Mercedes for 24. Carlos Sainz's contract was up at the end of 2024, and that's where that switch is happening. Of course, the other big question is who's going to take that Mercedes seat. Of course, a very coveted seat, one that drivers wanted for many years, and now it's obviously switched to more people wanting that Red Bull seat. As we're watching Royal Rumble here, just switched to him, got a McLaren actually in his way by the looks of things of Danny, but maybe he just started a lap as well, so not necessarily in his way. But yeah, so who's going to take the Mercedes seat? Not too sure. Got a few options already being bounced around, of course just a straight swap with Carlos Sainz and Alex Albon, Seb potentially coming out of retirement, Fernando to take it. Not too sure. I don't think it's wise for Mercedes to take a Fernando or Seb, to be honest. I'd probably say Alex Albon if I was going to pick someone.
Well, if, like what you said, like a driver swap, then that's kind of funny, because that kind of happened on the manager file, as Sainz ended up at Mercedes. So maybe will it happen? It's one of them that we're just going to have to wait and see. I mean, Leclerc got his contract renewed for, I can't remember how long it was.
We don't know. They've just said extension. It's rumoured that Lewis's is a 3-year, I think, still not confirmed or anything. My guess would probably be a 2-year, maybe with a 3rd year extension, if he wants to, or if they want to. Would be my guess. Anyway, we shall see. But it's probably why you saw Charles and Lando all take big multi-year deals. Interesting that Lando maybe didn't think about that Mercedes car, and you know, yeah. Anyway,
To be honest, I reckon McLaren is better for Lando. He seems to fit in there and gel with the guys that are there, like behind the scenes even.
yeah, it's music to George Russell's ears as well, I think.
Yeah.
He's now number one in that team that he wanted to be in. And don't get me wrong, even though Lewis, you know, we've seen them do it before, that he could go to Ferrari and then suddenly George Russell could be world champion in 2026.
You never know. I mean, we know the kind of performances that he is capable of. And
and Mercedes as well. I mean, you can't ever fault the fact that they're arguably a better team than Ferrari, aren't they? I mean, in recent history.
I mean, yeah, in recent history, in the past, like say 15 year even, they've got.
Well, Ferrari haven't won a championship since Mercedes came back. So.
Yeah, but what was it? 2007 with Kimi Räikkönen.
Yeah, it was the last time. Getting on to 2 decades ago. I hadn't seen that since the.
That season was intense.
But it has been a long time. So, getting back to this, obviously, just super exciting with what's going on in real life now. Formula 1 season is now officially started. Really, from today, it's really kicked off with a bang. Formality going on now. So drivers just setting a lap time so we can go through into Q2, and then we'll have the bottom 4 knocked out, and then the top 10 shootout for Q3. So still get that nice element of knockout qualifying, but basically a shorter version. We should be done with this in the next 3 or 4 minutes, I think, something like that. And then we'll crack on. At least we got a lot to talk about with what's happened today. And I do keep my ear in on football transfers, and I haven't heard a single one today.
What is this? I don't keep up with football, but is this the transfer window right now?
Deadline day today. Yeah.
Oh, today.
Yeah. So when they said about transfer deadline day, yeah, it usually is, but this year they did it on the 1st for some reason.
That's weird. Usually there's like a whole month. That's it, is it?
Yeah. Well, the summer is longer, isn't it? Summer's about 2.5 months transfer window, something like that, and then you get the 1 month in January. But they decided to do.
It's fair. It's off season.
Yeah. But as I said, the biggest news on transfer deadline day was a Formula 1 transfer, not football.
Yeah, but we'll say it is. Still, it came out of nowhere, to be honest.
It really did. I mean, we knew he had a 2-year deal. We thought that was a done deal, really. They never said it was a 1 year with a, but I suppose it was a 2-year deal, but it had a clause to break out rather than a clause to carry on. So they would say 2 year. Also, kind of interesting, maybe a hint of Mercedes is not going to be good this year.
Yeah, well, I mean, the clauses probably would have said. I mean, I'm just speculating here that it could have been like if he wasn't able to achieve so much in the championship, then.
But they wouldn't have done that for last year, would they? So they've already known they wouldn't have been able to achieve very much, and we haven't even started 2024 yet. I think it's more in the background. I mean, more the fact that he probably doesn't think they've made a big step this year, where they maybe promised the world and they've given him. They've not even given him a continent. They've just given him a small little country.
Yeah, I mean, past couple of years, the Mercedes car has been, shall we say, just rubbish, pretty much, compared to what it used to be during its dominant era. What was it, 2014 to 2019?
21, really. I mean, they were still arguably somewhat dominant in 21. It was the Red Bull and the Mercedes that are both dominant, weren't they? So it's really from 14 to 21. Definitely 20, obviously 20 being the fastest Formula 1 car in history. And probably will never be beaten again. But yeah, but has he pulled a blinder like he did moving from McLaren? Because I remember everyone thinking he was stupid moving from McLaren to Mercedes, and had that 1 year with the old regs, went to new regs and started winning. So are we going to see a parallel of that maybe?
It's a possibility. I mean, but the thing is, do I think that Ferrari is going to want them to break Schumacher's record, or do they want to encourage it?
Arguably encourage it, because he'll break the record in a Ferrari.
True.
And that will have more headlines than headlines from 20 years ago, won't it?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I think will happen, personally. And I kind of think Seb's right as well. Like, everyone is a Ferrari fan, even if they say they're not. So,
I mean,
I personally thought he was going to drive.
Ago I wasn't.
Yeah, well, I did think he was always going to be powered by a Mercedes car, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case.
That's the one thing I was thinking as well. It'll be the first time he's not powered by a Mercedes.
I tell you what, compared to someone like Fernando Alonso, you can't not say that Lewis Hamilton isn't a loyal driver to his teams as well. Fernando will flip-flop anywhere.
Yeah, he likes to jump about. I think he just gets a bit sick of the same car, I would say. Maybe some people in the background, will have known that he is sometimes, so...
in terms of that, like, kind of football analysis, he has almost left Man United to go to... Well, no, actually, he's arguably left Man City to go to Man United, in terms of they used to be successful and not so much anymore. That's what he's kind of done, actually. But anyway, time will tell, I suppose. It'd be interesting to see how 2024 goes as well.
Yeah, it would be. I'm hoping at least a less dominant Red Bull.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it, 23 of the 24, or 22 of the 23?
22 of the 23. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Disgustingly good.
Like, and here it was, I thought the Ferrari Schumacher era was bad.
Yeah. Credit where credit's due, though. The Red Bull and Mercedes. Red Bull and Verstappen have been very, very strong. They haven't really put a foot wrong ever.
No, that's fair play to them in that respect. I mean, Verstappen, as much as I'm not really a fan, I do respect his driving ability. Like, how much he's able to push that car, and like, he just knows the limit of it. And even then, when he doesn't go a bit too much, then, well, yeah. But, well, end of qualifying 1, and, well, not much to really report on, is everyone did kind of mess about, but some intermediate runners here. 127.8 for Chuckle. And then the times dropped down quite significantly after that from Super Striker and Looneyman, GTR, Bernboden. And then it's just wet runners and a couple of softs. And then Prof just kicking back.
Yeah, well, to be fair, none of them actually had to set a lap.
No.
But obviously they chose to, they were kind of told to. But yeah, not really needed of a rundown, as it's kind of been a 15-minute emergency podcast about Lewis Hamilton's move, and of course in the next couple of weeks I think more the focus will turn to who's having that second Mercedes seat, because that will be, people will be fighting for that seat for sure, because don't get me wrong, as I said, it's still a top team, came second in the championship last year, remember, so that'll be up for grabs, and that will be exciting. So we're into Q2. We're going to lose the bottom 4, they'll drop out, and then obviously we'll be left with the top 10. So this is really where qualifying is now begun, and still raining. I think we're going to have rain for the whole event, actually. So at least these guys will get used to it. So, as Lee said, we've seen a mixture of drivers on wets and inters and a couple on softs as well, but I'm sure now at this point they're all going to go on to the intermediate tyre because they're going to be wanting to put in a competitive lap time.
Yep, I've seen GTR there outbreaking himself a lot going into the chicane there of turn 1 and 2.
So, Championship League, you know, we're sort of getting right into the nitty gritty now, and it's certainly getting interesting. I'm having a look at it as we speak. I mean, the top 5, really, any of them could get it, I guess, as long as they attend the next few races. Have we got all of those drivers? We've got Queeks, have we? Yeah. We've got Chuckle, who's in the wrong car this evening for some reason. Pippo Kennedy as well, he's here. I know Super Striker is here as well. And who is the other one? Chuck. Yeah, so the top 5 contenders. Yeah, Chuck was saying that he should be in the Alfa Romeo. No, it's all right, we know that. So yeah, he's in the Alfa Romeo. And the nice thing is, obviously, I know we've got 2 Red Bulls today, but the nice thing is, Lee, 5 different teams as well. So the top 5. It's interesting what could happen, but really, you know, more the odds on it will be between the top 3, but the top 5 still have an opportunity. Obviously, it's 28 points for a win. So, if you know the top 3 of the standings, you know, top 4 of the standings crashed out this evening, and Chuck won and got 28 points, he'd be right up in the mix then as we go into the last 2 rounds. And we, as I said just before the start of the stream, Lee, the tier system already seems like it's working in its first iteration.
Yeah, I would say that is working quite nicely. I'm just looking at the standings here, and it looks like Alfa Romeo is actually running away with it a bit in the league by 60 points from McLaren.
Constructors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The constructors, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the Alfa Romeos are Prof and Chuckle. And Prof has been the only one really who has been consistently getting some points on the board, especially earlier on in the season, and that's kind of helped Alfa Romeo up to now. So yeah, just to keep it in mind that Chuckle is actually racing for Alfa Romeo, not Red Bull, and he's decided to pick up the wrong keys.
It just reminded me of I seen this interview with like Nicky Lauda about Rush.
Yeah,
and
I know what you're going to say.
He was like, the guy goes like, yeah, so you jump in the car, you put your belt on, put the key in. He's like, there's no key, there's a button.
That was a big gap difference between Beatie Man and GTOs as the Red Bull goes through there, and RTG Lee crossed the line, 128.4, very, very close to leading man's time.
Prof, I think he bailed out of his lap, so he's going again. I think.
Pippo Kennedy's up next. He may go on to first place. He does, 127.8. That's another big margin there. And I'm sure that the top 5 now are going to try and give it absolutely everything into these last 3 races.
Yeah, well, Chuck coming to the line, see what he's going to be able to do. Goes 4th, 128.433.
And Perm Bowden, he goes 6th, just behind his teammate of GT Ords. And iFish up next after that, 129 for him. And Chuckle just about to start a lap, and then after that we've got GT Ord again. Yep, Super Striker after him. The Scuderia Ferrari at his home race. As he crosses the line, he goes 5th fastest. The driver sitting 3rd in the Drivers' Championship.
Yeah, it was looking like a couple
Quakes.
candidate. Oh.
127.185. That's a big gap to the next car. Ginge, the next one, coming over the line now as his teammate enters the pit lane. He goes 3rd fastest, a 128.3. So only two, inside the 127s, and Chuckle will be up next. We've got a little while to wait for him.
Yeah, I think Chuckle's doing another outlap as he doesn't seem to be, well, on like a second outlap because he doesn't seem to be using any battery for the time being. So I think this is him just about to come to start his proper lap anyway.
One certainly.
Cool. Ben Bowden getting nicely out of the weather, Super Striker jumping into the pits. Prof will be coming in. Is Chuck on an outlap? On a lap? I think he might be actually. We'll see how he's going to be doing as he's just coming to the end of sector 2. We'll see if he's going to be up on his time. And this could possibly indicate whether he's going to be...
He's 2 tenths up.
Is he 2 tenths up? Going into sector
indeed.
2. So.
Yeah.
So we'll see what he's going to be... Is he... Oh, he's double that. He's 4 tenths up.
Which would put him just into the 127s at the moment, but not if he carries on like that. But he was able to save it. We had rain in Las Vegas on Monday, and it caused a load of problems. And drivers having the same issues there in the wet, arguably not as bad as we had on Monday. As he comes around the final corner.
Yeah, that cost him a tenth there, but still good enough for 3rd place there. And I think...
Chuckles after him. Goes on to the front row. It's 2 Red Bulls, but really it's a Red Bull and an Alfa Romeo on the front row in Q2. And Danny is the next one.
Yeah, but we'll say the one thing that I think contributed to the incidents and that happened on Monday would be due to the rain and it being such a low downforce track. You know, so it's got plenty of straights, so you're hitting high speeds, and well, you've got no downforce pretty much. So yeah, but Danny there goes 9 to 128.559. Is anybody else on a lap?
Not at the moment. The next one's going to be iFish, I think. As he makes his way into the Ascari chicane. Just preparing his lap. He let the Red Bull go through as well. I think he believed that Chuckle was on a lap, but of course he wasn't, as he's about to enter the pit lane now. We've got just over 5.5 minutes to go in the session. And iFish will have a track all to himself. He's got GT Ord up ahead of him on the road, but quite far ahead as he's about to go into Sector 2. Just as this man iFish is about to start his next flying lap, and potentially his final flying lap, unless he's got battery. The fuel to keep himself on the circuit and get another lap in as he makes his way through the Della Roggia chicane. Retifilia, sorry. And then round turn 3, Curva Grande, before it straightens out and you get to the right hand side for the Della Roggia chicane. Turns 4 and 5, where he's missed the apex quite some margin. You're laughing at me messing it up.
Yeah.
Through the first of this 2 Lesmos. I already feel like he's backed out of this solo.
Yeah, he has. He's keeping that battery up to 100%. So yeah, he's built up. I think he might just be going again, maybe. I mean, how long's left? 4:20 on the clock there. He's got time, I would say, to try another lap, and then if he's down, he could easily just bail into the pits, and then get new tyres and that, and get back out or refueled.
I was just trying to familiarise. Oh, take a breath, Joe.
Brain fart.
Yeah, I'm definitely having a bit of a brain fart at the minute.
You got it yourself?
Not just yet.
Oh, snap! Danny goes
up to
second with 127.596.
Yeah, very good.
That came out of nowhere.
It really did. Royal Rumble has yet to come out the pits to do a lap. He does need to get one done. iFish on another lap now, struggling through that second chicane.
Oh, quite extra tired and he's confident.
Who's up to the line first? We've got drivers out quite early on. I'm sure we're going to get sort of 2 different stages here. GTO up by 8 tenths, but it only puts him in 12th. As Perm Bowden rounds the final corner to start his last lap, potentially.
Pushing validated. Ascari there.
Prof's on a lap and seeming like he's being extra cautious here. We've got a yellow flag around the final corner. That's an Alpine. That'll be iFish. He's facing in the wrong direction. As you said, Koitz Gamer has retired a few moments ago. Just waiting to see what Prof can do now as he makes his way through Ascari and down the back straight now towards Parabolica.
Yeah, he was almost a quarter of a second up on his time, so we'll be able to see if he's going to be able to keep on improving and possibly move up any positions. Oh, Royal Rumble isn't even in the session. Oh, he moves up to 9th there. Nice. Just the 4,000th of a second on Super Striker there. But Super Striker is on a lap right now, and he's just coming under the old part of the track into the Ascari section. Once hit the first corner nicely, and there we go. Not taking too much on the exit, and then down into the parabolic, and now where he's reaching speeds over 200 mile an hour there.
GTO retired.
Oh, in the pits, yeah. It didn't have time to set another lap, but here is Super Striker to the line. Is he going to improve? He goes 70, improves by just under 3 tenths. Oh, he's up next. Just rounding the final corner to start a lap, I think. Prof's recharging as well. Bowden recharging.
And do you know what, Lee? They don't even need to, I don't think, at this point. Oh, maybe they do, actually. I think Perm Bowden's going for it one more time. And he's the only man now that can save himself, and it's only 10th place that's in trouble as iFish is in the pits. Royal Rumble's retired, GTO's retired, so Perm Bowden the only one now as he makes a mistake into turn 1 at Resifilia as we go around Curva Grande.
2 seconds. One thing I never noticed. Pepple Kennedy 127.581 in the second place.
Yeah.
Nicely done from him. Who's going to be up first? It's going to be Lehman. He's backed out.
So it'll be the Ferrari Super Striker after that. And I feel like he may have backed out as well. If not him, it would be Ginge, but he's definitely backed out. We'll see if Super Striker decides to finish his final lap of Q2, which he does. And is he up on his time? He wasn't. He was 3/10 down. So Lee, the next one up, where these guys do have to get this lap in. We've got the Mercedes of Chuck just ahead of him. Ginge now retires.
Got Chuck coming to the line now. He needs to get a good result, still stay in the championship fight. He improved, but not enough.
And Perm Bowden did improve by 5/10, but it wasn't enough to move up position. So that is the end of Q2.
Prof coming to the line. He's not going to improve. So, yeah, end of Q2, like you just said. And I would say we did see quite a big gap at the top there, but after we run down Nercoix getting the fastest lap there in Q2, 127.185, just under 4/10 quicker than Pippo Kennedy, who put in a 127.581. Behind him was Danny, then it was Chuckle, Looneyman, Chuck, Super Striker, Ginge, Lee and Prof. They were in the top 10 and they will be moving on to the next stage of qualifying. But unfortunately not making it through is Fish, GTR, Perm Bowden and Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble not managing to set a time due to, I think, connection issues, so he'll be starting at the back of the grid in 14th. Now moving on to the final stage of qualifying.
And absolutely no change in weather at all.
No, these guys are just about to fight it out for that pole position and that extra point.
So, while we wait for guys to make their way out of the pits, tyres are a bit different as well, aren't they? In wet conditions, don't have so many sets of inters and wets like they do dry tyres, but they do last a bit longer. Do you think it's better to use a used set where it's bedded in a bit, or a new set in this session?
I would possibly say a used set is better, because they're able to get up to temperature easier and, well, rubber in a bit easier.
So a lot of them coming out pretty early on. I don't think any of them are going to be really worrying about a tow here. I don't think we'll see anything like that. Ginge. No, sorry, Lee.
Lee getting a bit impatient there.
And lets him back through. I think he's going to let both McLarens through.
Oh.
There's definitely a bit of a queue actually forming, as now the two McLarens switch places. I think Lee now does want to get on with it. He gave him a chance, and now he's decided to change his mind and split the two McLarens on the outlap. And Ginge now following him through as well.
And Super Striker just sitting comfortably at the back here.
They could be. I was going to say they're going to start causing themselves a problem here, aren't they? They've caused themselves a queue here.
Yep, Super Striker just passing. I think that was Looneyman there, just coming out the Ascari section.
Ginge quite close as well. Oh, sorry, Lee quite close to Danny as they start their lap, and Ginge follows behind and pick her after him. And then the McLaren, who did a very slow lap of Looneyman, that could cost him at the start of his lap as well. Got a long straight where the tyres will start to cool, and the brakes, and the slow out lap potentially have not done him any favours. So look at this as well, Lee.
Danny there going off
at
the Del Rogia chicane. So Lee manages to pass him, and now he's just going through the first of the two Lesmos.
Well,
No,
there's something that's happened there. Ginge is round as well.
Oh.
So Ginge made a mistake on his first lap. Danny is invalidated. So who now is going to be the first one? It's going to be Lee. He's done a 59.2 in the middle sector, including his first.
Oh, and that was so smooth there, going through a Ascari there. It was like it was a blooming Electrics there. But now coming up to the final corner, the parabolic at turn 11. Now around and to the line, you'll see what time he's going to be able to put in. It looks like he's going to possibly be at 128.578. After that, who's next?
Oh, slightly quicker there from Super Striker. Slightly quicker, 128.521 and 128.6 for Looney Man after finishing his lap. And Ginge did spin, but he just put a lap time on the board. The AlphaTauri Pippo Kennedy puts it on provisional pole with a 126.8, almost 2 seconds faster than Super Striker. He's been knocked off the top spot in the championship as we come into this race, but he wants that extra point in qualifying to even it out as they go into the 27-lap race. Queeks Gamer making his way around the final corner now, with Chuck just ahead of him about to start a lap. As he comes across the line, where's he going to go? Second fastest with a 127.5. Chuckle is up next, his teammate for this evening. But of course, I said an Alfa Romeo driver on usually, and Prof is just behind him as well. As we go out of turn number 11 and on to the front straight, it's third fastest, 127.5 for him as well, and 128 dead for Prof. Danny is up next, and then we got Chuck after him, and they seem to have been nice to us this evening, put themselves in quite a spread out order. Mute.
I literally went and pressed unmute, but I muted myself just and then started talking, so yeah. But yeah, did seem quite spread out there near the end.
Oh, someone else put another time in there. Ginge, 128.1 for him.
Yeah, he's running low on fuel, so he's going to have to take a few, little bit of coasting. But now, Chuck needs a good result in order to still stay in this championship fight. See him as he's coming to the line now. What time is he going to be able to put in a 127.646? Good enough for fourth place for now, so we'll be able to see how things are going to fare in the next stage of Q3.
But where did Pippo pull that out of the bag, though?
I don't know. Someone must have installed some NOS in his car.
Very, very quick time. So, bit of a wait now until we get the final lap in qualifying. As we just wait to see them all file into the pits. I think Ginge... Oh no, sorry, it's Lee up next to come in. Still got plenty of time to go. And I'm sure this time, Lee, it'll be more of a scurry of the cars coming out.
Looneyman just finished a lap there. Just 13 thousandths of a second behind the Lee, and slots in 7th.
I mean, the mid-pack of the top 10 here are very close. Well, apart from Pippo Kennedy, really, who somehow found 7/10 on the next car to be sitting on provisional pole with quite a margin. Danny as well, Lee, I think he's on a lap here, so decided to stay out. It is something we see more of in conditions like this, as the tyres do seem to be more robust and last longer. I think he could get one more lap in here before he had to come into the pits to put a fresh set on. He's wrestling that McLaren through the second Lesmo of turn 7, and now down the back straight under the old banking into 8, 9 and 10 of the Ascari chicane as he went into turn 8 and validated his lap. And Looney Man as well making a mistake in Ascari as well. That's starting to seem a little treacherous there, but difficult corner at the best of times in the dry league, but in the wet, it's a whole different kettle of fish.
Yeah, but having to deal with that, the final corner of Ascari, the turn 10, it is one of the, I would say, the most difficult corners on this track. You have to try and just not touch that curb, but it's so tempting. But yeah, it's one of them things that you can end up just losing it. It's like a high risk, high reward situation in that sort of sense.
Yeah, and drivers now already coming out for their final laps. Maybe going to give it 2 goes here, just bear me a
Right, cool one. Yep, so we've got Prof here just about to start his lap. He's just came around the Parabolica, crossing the line. He's going to be the first up here to start a lap. See the cars just coming out the pits there to the right. That'll maybe send a little bit of anxiety into him a little, but it seems to have been alright as he gets past the Retfield chicane quite nicely. A little bit of slip in the traction on the exit around the Curva Grande here, turn 3. And then is going to come into another chicane, Del Rogia chicane, into turns 4 and 5 there. Just nicking the curbs perfectly there. Into the first of the 2 Lesmos. Imagine we get that car handled quite nicely. And he's using up all of the track there quite surprisingly.
Yeah, you think it would be quite slippy out there as he goes under the old banking and rises up the hill to Ascari. He's now down on his time, and I think he's backed out as well, Lee.
Nobody's still going.
No.
Oh, riding the limit there at turn 10 there. But yeah, he backs out now. We could still go for another lap right now.
It'd have to be now, though, wouldn't it? He hasn't got time to get another outlap in, as we're under the 1 minute and sort of 30 seconds in a conservative cut-off, so he's going to have to go for it again. He's still got plenty of battery to deploy. So we're now getting into the latter stages of Q3 and qualifying as a whole. And who will be up first to see the checkered flag? Trying to work it out. It could be someone like Super Striker.
It's going to be a Lewis.
Down on his time, actually, so he's going to be going again.
Yep, Ginger, Super Striker are on their second out laps right now.
Yeah, so
I think it's Lee and Pippo Kennedy who are on flying laps right now. Lee just coming under the old banking. Oh, and it says he's got purple in sector 2 there. With Lee and Aston Martin, but we know what this game is like, so we'll have to just wait and see how good his lap is as he's just coming into the parabolic and now of turn 11. You can see that red indicator flashing away that he's low on fuel. But to the line.
Goes fourth and he makes it just before the flag as well.
Oh, Danny! Oh, and Danny smashes it coming out of the
and Prof does as well. Out of the parabolica onto the start-finish straight. He spun it just before the line. He was up on his time. 2 of them spun out at the exact same time. Pippo Kennedy, I think, is up next, isn't it, Lee? And he's still on provisional pole at the moment. Is he going to extend his provisional pole?
He was up on his time there.
Oh, 26.6.
What the actual F?
Coix Gamer's next. Is he going to improve into the 26s? But it's not enough. Chuckle, is he going to get onto the front row? He does, but he doesn't get onto pole position. Chuck's up next after this. The 2 championship contenders are first and second, the other way around than they are in the championship. Chuck is invalidated his lap. Is Super Striker going to be going faster. Is a Ferrari going to be on pole in Monza? No. 6th fastest for him on 127.6. Looney Man, the next one up to the line. He goes onto the second row into 4th. And then Ginge crosses the line and goes 4th and takes that place from him. I think we're just waiting for Lee, who was 2/10 up on his lap, but he's run out of fuel.
Never fun when that happens, but yeah, oh, he's just coming to the line, is he? Yep, he's just going straight to the line, so thank you. Yeah, so that's the end of qualifying. And we'll get ready to get down and give you the order there. So Pippo Kennedy, absolutely smashing time, 126.6. Chuckle there, managing to get into the 126s. Also same as Koyak's Gamer, man, do quite nicely. Half a second at least between Koyaks and Ginge there. So it was Pippo Kennedy, Chuckle, Koyaks, Ginge, Lehman, Lee, Chuck, Super Striker, Danny and Prof. So we'll be moving on to the race in just a few moments. So what did you think of that qualifying session that just happened there?
Closer than I thought it would be in wet conditions, especially in sort of the mid part of the top 10. It was very close at one point, but Pippo, yeah, another strong performance. His second pole of the year, or of the season, should I say. And we're back level pegging in the championship now, Lee, officially. They're both on.
Oh.
They would technically now be both on 137 points, Chuckle and Pippo Kennedy.
Oh, nice. But no, there ain't no need to look at the tyres because we all know it's going to be the Green Bull Pirellis.
Or is it the extreme wet? I don't think so. It's not too wet, is it? It's been stable like this the whole time, actually.
No, it's inverse.
Cool. Okay, so yeah, as we said, we don't need to worry about that. We've got about 45 seconds or so until we get this race started. As I said, no formation lap happens here. So we'll just have to wait and see. When we get underway, of course, it bottlenecks here down towards turn 1. And of course, they'll have to be extra careful in these wet conditions as well.
Yeah,
so,
again, with a bottleneck and going into turn 1 and such extreme speeds that they're going to be getting up to, so it's quite a long distance there into turn 1. Plus, it's going to be having to brake quite a lot earlier with these conditions, so we could quite possibly see a little bit of contact there from a couple of drivers, but
here we go. 2, 3, 4 and 5 red lights. It's a rainy day here in Monza and we're away for the Thursday Tier 2 race, and Pippo Kennedy getting a decent launch, and then it goes horribly wrong. He goes into the wall. There's a few of them actually out of the session already. GTOrs and Danny have both crashed out, and we're down to 12 already. And that, I think, was due just to Pippo Kennedy lighting up the rears too much. We've got a safety car deployed. I think that would actually, I'd arguably say that's more of a safety car than a VSC. I'm not sure, than a red flag instead of safety car instead of a red flag. Red flag instead of a safety car. That might be restarted, Lee. Not too sure.
that was just. I'm a check. Just.
Bear with me. Bear with me. What do you think? Lee?
Yeah, I'm reading some comments there. A few people saying for a restart. Well, we're going to see a few people coming into the pits now from Royal Rumble down.
Yeah, that was absolutely chaotic, wasn't it?
Like I said, it's due to these conditions, and they'll be so desperate to get that good launch. Yeah, so desperate to get that good launch because it is a long run down into turn 1.
Right, at least some of them have got time to reorganise themselves. In terms of the championship, Pippo is made a dramatic error. I think he went into the side. Did he go into the side of Chuckle?
Yeah. That's what I'm hearing from Lee anyway.
Yeah, I'm looking at Discord chat as well.
So, it appears so, which is a bit unfortunate, but we're down to 12 now.
Yeah, we are. We've still got this championship fight to concentrate on, though. Chuckle obviously in a very good place now. So Pippo Kennedy now down to 8, so he's got a bit of work to do when we get racing again. Coit's Gamer obviously in that top 5 as well. Chucky's in the top 5 and in the top 5 of the standings, so still all to play for, certainly. Super Striker in 6th as well, so just keep an eye out on all those guys because it can change and these conditions can throw a bit of madness in the mix as well. We'll probably have this lap and then we'll be racing again at the end of lap 2. End of lap 3, sorry.
Royal Rumble going off the track again. He went off the track and at the Lesmo 2, I think it was, and Lee managed to get past. So, yeah, Fish almost managed to get past him there at the Parabolica. And it seems he's...
There's a GT Ord saying in the comments it's not fair. No, unfortunately not, but that's kind of what it's all about as well. Live sport. It's the luck of the draw, I suppose. And you're never going to know what's going to happen. Coit's Gamer getting very close to the back of Looney Man there and almost going into the back of the McLaren. And we should get the notification that safety car's in this lap at the end of this straight. And yeah, it looks like everyone's caught back up now. So 14 to 12, we have quite a small grid and it's got smaller now. But as I said, look at the bigger picture. Focus on the Drivers' Championship as we get safety car in this lap and get that notification. Yeah, between Chuckle, Coix, Chuck, Super Striker and Pippo Kennedy all fighting for the championship. 28 points, or about 28 points, 28, yeah, about 28 points between them, those 5 in total. So it's all to play for, really. And Chuck will get us back racing again. And Liam Bowden switching places for some reason there. And we're just waiting for Chuckle to get going again. He's actually got himself a decent margin now, which Looney Man gifted him, and he's decided to snatch the gift out of his hand and unwrap it, and almost got a second out of the Parabolica.
Yeah, we managed to get quite a good jump there on him, but are we going to see possibly Ginge going for a move? No.
Yeah, he was close, but not looking like he can do anything about it just yet. Chuck getting close as well.
Oh,
concertina effect happening here.
Went off.
Looney Man.
That's Koyax.
Oh, Koyax, yeah.
Oh no, that's bull.
He did slow down. Maybe you can
Yeah,
argue that after the race,
I'm
but
gonna. Yeah,
but unfortunately he's going to have to serve it in the pits, because I don't think he's going to be able to go the whole way on this one set. Obviously, we don't have to pit when we're in wet conditions. But I don't think the inters will last the whole race distance of 27 laps, and about 20. If we have nothing else happen from here on out, it's about 25, 24 laps of actual racing. So it's a tall order, but yeah, I think that'll be hard to get rid of after we finish here.
I mean, anything could happen, especially in these conditions. And it looks. Is it just me or does it stop raining? It stopped raining.
It has,
It's going
yeah.
to be going dry soon.
Yeah, it has stopped raining. That makes it even more interesting, actually, I have to admit. And then we'll have DRS to contend with as well, to bring that into the mix. Hopefully, Pippa Kennedy trying to make up places after his horrendous start and causing a bit of a pile-up and arguably causing two drivers to crash out. Prof, though, trying to come back at him here, but he lifts off the throttle and doesn't want to take the risk on the outside at turn 1. I don't really blame him as we go through turns 1 and 2, Retifilia chicane, and on towards turn 3, Curva Grande. Like you said, yeah, the rain has stopped. It's cloudy, Lee, but as it's so early on, surely we'll go to slicks within 5, maybe 10 minutes at most.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what would the strategy be? Would it be going on the hards or the mediums? So like a double medium. But here I would possibly say the hards are actually quite good, but with it being wet, it will be kind of difficult getting the grip in the starting stages, especially.
Yeah, it will be. Oh, sorry. Every time I seem to come up here at the moment, I keep having coughing fits. There must be something going on with this bedroom. Lee getting past Prof here, up towards Parabolica. And Chuckle takes another fastest lap, which just indicates the track's getting faster as well. How quickly is it going to dry up, though, Lee?
I reckon possibly, up at 8 or 9 we could see people jumping into the pits in order to get them Greenwald Pirellis off.
Yeah, well, the spray's starting to get lighter already, isn't it? As we go into De La Roche and out of there with watching Ginge off board here as he makes his way through the first Lesmo, following Looney Man. And Chuck's still been able to maintain that gap at the moment. It's going to be interesting between Chuck and Coix as well, because they're quite close together on track, especially if we have to come into the pit. So maybe Coix will take an early gamble, but he has got that 5-second penalty to contend with as well, which I said is going to be hard to argue against, especially after he served it, because I don't think it technically happened in the race. There's still a long way to go. Out of Ascari, it's certainly drying up now, Lee. I think we're going to be looking at pit stops maybe lap 8, actually, I think. Yep. Oh, Coix is spun. Oh, at the Parabolica there, it was a half spin. He clipped the wall.
This is not his race.
No, and he's lost the place to Pippo Kennedy. He's got Lee, who surely will be making up some kind of ground, but now losing it, I think, after Coix just deciding to use maybe some of the battery, or he's got slightly more straight line speed, a bit less downforce.
Yeah, but looking at Chug, he's managing to increase that gap to just under 2 seconds now. And all the while, Chuck and Ginge and the Looney Man are all fighting it out for that second place. And this is brilliant for Chuckle, especially since the conditions are getting drier. And this will give him a little bit more of a leeway in terms of when to pit.
Yeah. It's taking a little while. I've noticed this with this game. If it's cloudy, it does take a little while to dry. If it's full sunshine, it does hit about a lap, which is too quick still. But at least when it's dry, it doesn't. At least when there's cloud and it's drying, it doesn't dry, like that. Like, click of your fingers. Going to go on to lap 8 now, where I predicted pit stops would happen at the end of that lap, and maybe a lap or two early, actually. But it's definitely starting to dry out, isn't it? You're actually starting to see a dry line, I think.
Yeah, the spray is actually dying down quite significantly. Pippo Kennedy there, absolutely flying past Super Striker there. Up to 210 mile an hour there. Going into turn 1.
No DRS as well. So, very quick. Obviously, that's where you get that extra sort of 8-10 mile an hour of extra speed, along with the slipstream. Pippo Kennedy and Royal Rumble going side by side into turn 1. Royal Rumble had the inside.
Oh, Ben Bowden wrong there.
And DRS enabled. And iFish is just coming out of the pits as well.
Has he called this perfectly?
Yeah, potentially. Are we going to see guys come in? It's still a little bit damp though, isn't it?
It is.
Just seeing that from iFish actually making his way out of the pits, he almost went straight on at turn 1. DRS open for the first time this evening, actually, not just the first time in this race. Didn't see it at all through qualifying. I think if I was them, I'd probably leave it one more lap maybe, because it still looks a little bit damp.
Well, I'm going to stay on board with iFish and see how he's going to be contending. And how this gap to Per Bowden and the rest is going to end up.
Oh, Chuckle decides to pit, so does Looney Man. They all follow suit, and then Chuck stays out for another lap. But suddenly it has started to become dry now. But it really is, I think, a bit of a crossover, Lee, in terms of in the middle of this lap. I think it will go to dry. Royal Rumble gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. You're seeing Coix Gamer serve that 5-second penalty, and he'll go on to the medium tyres after serving it, and he's going to come out potentially behind Fish here. I think it's going to be close as he makes his way around the final corner, and that time that he's now making up quite a bit of time that he lost. And I think he's going to get past a few of these guys here. There's Coix just ahead of him. His tyres are going to be warmed up nicely, though. They're on the inside. We're going to see a big lunge here from Fish. Royal Rumble goes wide, and I think if he'd got later on the brakes, Lee, and just given it a go, he'd have had to have been given the space. How are the Inces doing at the front?
You should have turned in that little bit earlier and managed to get the traction on the exit of turn 2.
Yeah.
That would have been... could have possibly got both of them there, but Coix getting ever so close to the back of Royal Rumble here as they're coming through the first of the 2 Lesmos. Coix actually missing that apex there.
And here comes Chuck into the pits. I'm sure they'll all be coming in at this point who hadn't done the previous lap, and I think Chuckle called it right, pitting the lap before and not staying out. Those 4 now pit a lap later. Very, very, very busy pit lane. And where are these guys all going to pop out? iFish and
Coix.
Yeah, getting very close there, side by side, through the parabolica and onto the start-finish straight. I believe they'll both get DRS as well. To play with, iFish takes the fastest lap. One slips in behind the other, and one goes past the Williams. Here comes the Aston Martin out of the pit lane as well. It could be very interesting. Coix there going around the outside of RTG Lee at the pit lane exit, and he gets past him. That was a crucial move, and that was brave as well.
Yeah, but I was thinking that Fish was going to be able to get past 2 of them there, but Lee coming out the pits there blocked him, and he wasn't able to get that move done. Fish, though, managing to get up into 10th place there, moving past Royal Rumble, going into the Roger chicane, moving further up. Prof making a small mistake going into the Lesmo 1. Looked like Coyce almost went into the back of him there.
Yeah, as we watch him come down the back straight, Coyte's gaining slightly on Prof ahead of him. And this race lead suddenly just become alive, actually.
Yeah, but looking back at the front though, we're going to see Ginger's going to have that DRS, and he managed to absolutely fly past the Looney Man there, up into second place.
And here comes Chuck
Here
as well.
comes Chuck in the Mercedes, and he's going to have the inside line going into turn one. They're going to be side by side, and then that's going to turn to the outside. There's the contact there. Who's going to be getting the better traction? Chuck is on the softs. They're going to be going around the curve. Grande. Chuck is on the inside. Lehman on the outside. Chuck just manages to get his nose ahead. Who's going to be later on the brakes? Going into turn four. It's going to be Lehman. He's got that inside line. But Chuck manages to just get him out of the way. But was there contact there, or was that Lehman just getting a bit too much on the inside curb?
I think there was just a slight bit of contact. Slight bit of contact.
From the angle I was looking at, I couldn't see properly, but Chuck got up into third place for now.
Very good racing, though. It was great to watch. Out of Ascari chicane, he's on the hunt for Ginge now. After Ginge passed Looney Man on the start-finish straight, and Chuck hoping to do the same to Ginge. I said, once this track has dried up, it's become interesting. I'm assuming Chuck's going for a two-stop and doing a double soft here. From where he's at, he's closing that gap. DRS seeming very powerful, actually, as he has no DRS, ERS to use. So you might have to go into a state of charging and just try and preserve some battery. Royal Rumble trying to go past iFish here. These two have been fighting for the last lap or two. Inside line, cuts over the curb there, Royal Rumble. Now round the outside and gets it done, and got the traction beautifully sorted there once they came out of turn two. Well, I'm sure that's not the last we'll see of those two fighting, as midfield starting to group together, as well as the guys towards the front as well. There's almost starting to be a bit of a queue from Ginge, actually, if Super Striker can gain a bit more time.
Yeah, but it has appeared quite that way, and then we've seen if Prof would be able to catch up, but there's just that little tiny bit. Oh, and Fish!
Fish is out, that's a safety, and safety car's deployed.
Oh, no. What's going to happen?
Another stop for the mediums, maybe, to go to the end. Chuck was coming in. Yeah.
Ginge, what's he going to do? He's going to follow suit. Same with Chuck.
Oh, I'm surprised Chuck didn't go for it there. They're all going very slowly. I'm sure they'll all go to the mediums to the end, I think. That'd be my guess, as Coytes comes in as well. I think he's got enough of a gap from his teammate there not to be held up.
Yeah, but that's a bit unfortunate for him with it being Chuckle, unfortunately, being in the wrong car.
Yeah, you wouldn't have had this problem today. Actually, that's a good point. Pern Bowden stayed out though. He's in fourth. Yeah, the only driver that stayed out, and if we look back at history, it would tell us that that's not a good call, actually.
Oh, Leaves went on the hard tyres. So he's the only one that's on the hard tyres, and Pern Bowden is the only one who did not pit just there. Interesting. Most likely we're going to see another lap of this safety car, and then it'll be in.
Yeah, we'll definitely see another lap, for sure. It'll be lap 15 that we get started again, as we wait for Royal Rumble to catch back up. Chuckle got that excellent start last time though, didn't he? And that was it was mainly because of Looney Man. leaving him loads of space when he got started just before the parabolica, actually. So he had his wits about him, Chuckle, didn't he? He took it to his advantage, used it to his advantage.
Yeah.
Pardon me?
Yeah, Lehman leaving him a bit too much of a gap, and well, Chuckle, well, Lehman was probably thinking, I'll get a wee bit of gap, and then I'll be able to get the jump on him when he does go. But unfortunately, he went a little bit earlier and managed to catch Lehman off guard and managed to get that big gap that was required. Yeah, we're on lap 14 now, behind the safety car. Should be getting back underway at the end of this lap.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, that's for sure. And presumably now everyone's going to be going to the end. Definitely Lee on the hards. I'm not sure if he's made the right call there. It depends whether he can stick with the other guys and, you know, stay with them for the next 2 laps and then have the DRS to help him. And then hopefully with the last few laps it will, you know, swing back towards his tyre. But a long way to go. And that's kind of a bit of a big ask as well.
Yeah, it certainly is. You've seen there, haven't we? Look at the order right now. Chuckle in first place, Ginge second, Chuck third. Managing to do quite nicely and move up a bit. Well, if you look at the position changes, Per Bowden up 9 places, but that's only because he hasn't pit. Chuck, the biggest climber in that sense, up 4 places into third after qualifying in 7th, but now we're away to get back underway. And as that safety car's coming into the pits, and you can see that it's just coming around the parabolic, and now...
Yeah, so he can pretty much go from whenever he wants now. If he has the full track map up, he'll be able to see the safety cars come in. If he doesn't, it'd be more difficult to know. He's gone at about the... Yeah, I'm here.
No, I'm seeing he's went already.
Oh, yeah, no, he went as early as he did before. It's actually called Ginge off guard here. As we go on to the start finish and on to lap 15, here goes the Super Striker to the inside as it's a drag race towards turn 1. He's got Chuck just behind him as well, just ahead of him, giving him a bit of a slipstream. He gets past Perm Bowden, and Looney Man trying to get past Perm Bowden as well around the outside. We saw it earlier on, and we see it once again. The outside line working well for an overtake. Is Pippo Kennedy here going to go for Perm Bowden as well? Yes, he is. Inside for him, outbreaks him as you see Coix Gamer in the background there, who was almost went into the back of the Haas. He could brake so much later than the used set of mediums, even though they're only a few laps old.
Yeah, but it's a bit unfortunate when they're just a little bit used. And like you see there, he's just going backwards now, and he's just been overtaken by both Coix and Prof on the run down into the Ascari section there. But Coix making a wee error, and that ended up being a sort of chain reaction, and Prof hit the brakes, almost had Per Bowden going into the back of him. Lee now going down the inside of Per Bowden into the parabolic on them hard compound tyres. And Per Bowden goes out quite wide there, and Lee manages to slap it up the inside there. Going further back up, Chuck managing to get past Ginge there. Now up into second place. Chuck is actually meaning business here tonight, folks.
Yes. Super Striker as well. He broke a little bit too late there and almost collected Ginge. But Ginge turned in luckily enough at the perfect moment. As Looney Man, he's getting reasonably close to the back of the Ferrari. But again, Chuckle being able to eke out that 2-second lead, Lee, and doing the same as he did before.
Yeah, Triggleman, he's managed to do it quite nicely, but Chuck appears to be possibly reining it in a little. He's just went and pulled off 2/10 in the past sector there. So we'll check back in a few laps and see how that's going to be doing. We've seen quite a big chain, train, sorry, from Chuck down. There's Per Bowden being overtaken again from Royal Rumble this time. Unfortunately, that strategy of staying out on them old medium tyres has not worked out for him. Looks like Super Striker there having a wee peek up the inside on Ginge.
Yeah, as you said, I think Chuck just starting to close it a little bit. As Looney Man again going into Della Roggia is got some good speed around Curva Grande on Super Striker.
Yeah, they're all quite close here and still managing to keep this train here. Super Striker's going a little bit
wide, yeah. Yeah, must have got a warning.
Yeah, he would have most definitely. So he's either on his first or his second.
Yeah, haven't actually seen anyone yet get a corner cutting penalty. As the sun does start now to appear across the circuit. Yeah, that was 5 seconds though, wasn't it?
In terms of 3 second, no one as of yet. Could we possibly see an overtake here? Super Striker managed to get a good launch there out of the parabolic. He's got a double slipstream.
He's right over the heck.
Got incredible speeds there.
Oh, here goes Ginge actually, trying his luck, chancing his arm here on the inside where it was the outside for turn 1, but not just yet.
Oh,
and Looney Man getting close. Yeah, he's been getting close through Curva Grande for quite a few laps. He's deciding whether to go left or right. He then goes for a bit of a lunge, backs out of it again. The Welshman, as we go through the second chicane, and decides to stay exactly where he's been for a little while, as Pippo Kennedy and Queeks Cambridge now decided to join the party, and all the way up to second now, Lee. There's a big train that's formed.
Yep, there certainly is. And I reckon this train might actually start pulling away from Prof with them all, but then again they could all end up starting battling. But all of this is actually in favour of Chuckle, sorry, as he's managed to increase that gap to 3 seconds now.
Yeah.
These three battling it out at the top for second, third and fourth of Chuck, Ginge and Super Striker. Getting really close there, coming out the parabolic. Could we see possibly Ginge going for a move, going into turn 1. He's going to go for the outside the line.
Oh, lovely, absolutely lovely. But Chuckle there didn't want to give it up, and I think it caught Ginge a bit of a surprise there, because he didn't expect him to still be there, I don't think. Here comes Super Striker as well. As I said, guys behind want a piece of the action now. Is Looney Man going to go for it this time? No, he's deciding that turn 4 isn't the overtaking spot that he wants. And after that little fight again, Lee, another third of a second, almost half a second, has been gifted to Chuckle. And he's leading by almost 3.5 seconds now. As we open DRS again, down the back straight towards the old banking, towards Ascari, where the braking zone isn't as long as it is at turn 1.
Yeah, these guys are actually quite close here. You would actually think it was a trainer that's close together.
Yeah.
Just a linked up Chuck though. He's going to have the DRS.
Looney Man trying it here, because Pippo Kennedy went wide through the Parabolica. As we go on to the start finish, here goes Chuck back on Ginge.
Super Striker Oh,
And Super Striker here, they're all getting so close. Chuckle and Ginge side by side through the second part of the first chicane. And Chuck takes back second place. Looney Man now eventually gets past Pippa Kennedy. Been great racing, but it's been fair as well, actually. They've all given themselves a lot of space. Looney Man here, now he's going to go for it into Ratafia. Oh, they were so close. I don't know how they didn't make contact there, the McLaren and the Ferrari. And now through the first Lesmo, a few of them have changed places, but yes, again, the gift of fighting for Chuckle is now meaning he's over 4 seconds in the lead.
Purple could be going for an overtake on Looneyman. Looneyman just went a bit wide coming out of Lesmo 2 there. Is he going to go for it? Is he going to be later on the brakes? No, he decides to back out of it. And possibly Looneyman just picked up a warning there. I'm unsure about that, but he's flashing away. And Purple will be able to see that he's vulnerable with that flashing indicator. There we go, we got the first 3-second time penalty there of Perrin Bowden.
Yeah, and some of these guys getting very close. Pippo Kennedy trying to go for that 5th place here, inside line for him. He's got a queue of cars ahead of him though, so he's got to watch out for that. And move completed from the AlphaTauri driver there. And as you said, Prof hasn't been able to catch up with this train either. It stayed around the 1.5 to 2 second gap for 5 or 6 laps.
Yeah, but unfortunately, with the aid of the DRS, it's kind of held them up, and it's been, they have been battling, so it has kind of stayed at a similar pace. But mind you, he has caught up by just over half a second now, since we last checked in about 5 laps ago. So you could possibly get in there in just a few moments, in a lap or 2 maybe, but you will have to push it quite a bit. Super Striker getting awfully close to the back of Ginge here. We'll see how he's going to be able to get this. Is he's going to have the DRS? I don't think, is Ginge going to have it actually? Does Ginge actually have DRS? Yes, he does, but he just slipped out of that window. Chuck is starting to pull away. And Super Striker nicely does.
Yeah, and Ginge went into the back of him as well. He parked it on the apex lovely, and Ginge didn't see that coming. So now Super Striker's in 3rd. That's where he is in the championship as well. As we go down to the 2nd chicane, Ginge biting at his heels as we come out of Della Roggia and onto the first of the 2 Lesmos. And as you said, Chuck just starting to break away now, which is what he needed to do, and hope that these guys behind him started to fight with each other, which is exactly what they have done. And he's eked out the tiny little bit of margin he needed to maybe feel slightly more secure, but I'm not sure how long that will actually last. But after he said that Prof was getting closely, he's somehow now lost about 2 seconds.
Yeah, he's lost about a second, well, none of 2 seconds now, which is a bit unfortunate for his case, maybe a bit fortunate for Koyex. Purple Kennedy, though, getting that slipstream, using a bit of that bar. He's got the DRS, a double slipstream from Super Striker as well, but they two end up both side by side, and let's see if he's going to be able to capitalise on them two battling. No, he isn't, unfortunately. He just gets that a little bit too close to the back of Super Striker, but
here he comes.
Going into turn 4, around the Curva Grande. He's going around the outside of the Ferrari at their home Grand Prix here. And is he going to be able to get it done? Yes, he does. Moving up into 4th place. Super Striker down into 5th, and now how is he going to respond to that in the coming laps? He's got Looneyman in the McLaren just hot on his tail there, and he's going to be desperate to get up into a higher position here. As you see him using that battery in order to catch up, and he'll be eyeing up possibly a move going into turn 1.
Yeah, and this is started to turn into a fight for third, isn't it now? For the third place position, at last place on the podium. And as you said, Pippo Kennedy has started to really come into his own in the second half of the race. And looking good. Ginge, the only one here out of all of these cars, down to 7th. 5 of them that is not going to have the DRS here, and it really shows, doesn't it, how powerful it is, even around a circuit like Monza. As Pippo Kennedy moves to the right-hand side, gets past. Nice and easy.
Oh, Super Striker gets punted. Looneyman went into the back of Super Striker.
Yeah, luckily he got back going again. Here goes Looneyman and Koik's Gamer. Koik's getting past Looneyman on the outside of the Curva Grande. And of course that causes a chain reaction as well, doesn't it? Where they're all within DRS range of each other. One of them spins and kind of comes out of that train. They do sort of get split up into two. And that has meant that Koik's hasn't got DRS down this back straight.
No, he won't, but if he gets a good pace through this scary section, which he has, and he's going to be 9/10 away, so he's going to be within that 1 second margin, and we can see Ginge trying to desperately to get past Pippo Kennedy. Was it Pippo Kennedy? Pippo Kennedy just got past Ginge actually there.
No, he got past. No, got past the lap before, didn't he? Ginger's now trying to fight back where Pippo Kennedy went past, as I said, the lap previous.
Oh, Ginge goes a wee bit wide there, and looks like he's actually trying to push him there. But is Pippo Kennedy going to respond to that? We could see just behind Koik's Gamer, just watching on, just a little bystander there in the crowd. Looneyman managed to catch back up to this part, but the Super Striker going to be able to catch up. He's 2.3 seconds behind. It's quite a bit of a distance, while Chuckle and the two Chuckle brothers managing to pull away nicely. And there's 3.5 seconds between the two of them, and then there's another 3.4 seconds between that. Pippo Kennedy and the Ginge battling it out again, and it looks like Pippo Kennedy's managed to get back up into that third position. Nicely done there. Koik's Gamer though looking for a move. He's going to switch to the right hand side. He's going to have the inside line for the parabolic. Is he? No. Ginge used that little bit of the battery he had, but Koik's is coming back at him. He's going to have a bit more speed coming out of going into the start finish straight. Ginge using that battery though. Unfortunately, Koik's has got nothing in the tank in that sense.
Oh, here goes Koik's though, as Ginge decided to back out of it, and it left the door open for Koik's as he now tries the inside, then the outside. Again, driver's trying to push them to the very limit of the outside there, and Koik's has to stay in 5th place, but just saw the lift there, how it affected him. As Looneyman now tries it on the outside of Curva Grande. Seen it happen twice here. We're going to see it again as they take the inside for the next chicane. They go side by side through there without making contact, without either of them spinning, and Koik's holds on. That was excellent defending from the Red Bull driver.
Yeah, but when you finally managed to get that space after 3 tries anyway that you required on the inside, even though he didn't manage to get the position done, it's still he still managed to stay side by side, as we've seen at the start of the Grand Prix, where he spun out. But going up, they're kind of spreading out just a little bit.
Yeah, Pippo actually catching up to Chuck now. But this really is the fight for third as we go on to the final lap. This is really important for all of these guys as well. Really, Pippo's still fighting for this championship, trying to get as much points as he can. Ginge desperately wanting a podium, which he hasn't had this season, so he's going to be fighting back here. It's his last chance into turn 1. He's too far back though, and Koik's has lost some ground as well. 1.8 seconds to Chuck.
Yeah, Pippa Kennedy's actually going quite quickly here. And that'll be in order to try and defend from the Aston Martin driver of Ginge. But we've seen Koyaks are actually quite close to the limit there and possibly going to be losing that DRS. But he manages to keep within it
Well,
for
here
the
we go.
moment.
Here we go out the second Lesmo. Keep an eye on Ginge, trying to get the best launch he possibly can. DRS enabled for him. He's gaining ground, gaining a lot of it. Is he going to go for the lunge into the Ascari chicane? No. Decided he was too far back. I think that's kind of a signed, sealed and delivered thing now, with Royal Rumble getting himself a 3-second time penalty as we exit the final corner of the Parabolica. Chuckle, though, making his way to the line. He takes his 5th win this season, and Pippa Kennedy then ends up in second. Oh, where's Ginger? Where's Chuckle? Chuck, why is he down in 5th? I'm not sure what happened there. Pippa Kennedy, though, took 2nd place, and Ginger's took 3rd.
I have no idea what happened there.
Sorry, I'm just having a look back. What happened then? Let's have a quick look. So, yeah, we're just waiting for Pern Bowden now to finish, to round us out. Oh, he had a time penalty. He got a time penalty at the very end, Lee. 3 seconds.
Oh, jeez. Right at the end, and Pippa Kennedy managed to do quite nicely, so he's got that 2nd place. And then I think he went down to, I think it was 5th. Oh, that's so unfortunate for him there. Moving down into 5th there, just getting that right at the last corner too. Absolutely heartbreaking, but that is the end of the Grand Prix. It's going to be Chuckle that gets that win. Then it was Pippa Kennedy, Ginge, Goyix Gamer, Chuck, Looneyman, Super Striker, Prof, Royal Rumble, Lee, Pern Bowden, and Fish, Danny, and GTR did not finish. Unfortunately for Danny and GTR, didn't even manage to get to turn 1 with that incident that happened.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the end of week 8 on RTG. Keep an eye out for Moments of the Week for week 7 last week. Almost finished the video, just couldn't do it in time, but it'll be out tomorrow once I finish work, so in the evening. And then make sure you're back with Lee on Monday for the British Grand Prix, and then back with me and Lee next Thursday. And I can't remember where we are, Lee. I said it earlier, now I can't remember. Where are we next Thursday, Lee? It is Kota.
In the comms box.
In the comms box, yeah, we're at Kota next Thursday, so if you're just here to watch Thursday races, me and Lee will be back on Thursday, and we're back on Saturday if anyone watches us on the other Lee channel, and that'll be Saturday at 8 o'clock. Keep subscribing to the channel. It's great to see 340 subs, and keep that going. Keep liking the video, especially if you're liking the content. And once we go into the last 2 weeks of this season 14, until next time, and next Monday, it's goodbye from me and from Lee.
Peace out.